Let's see that again in an instant replay. Okay, so folks, we are talking about Oblivion Remastered today. This has been something I've wanted to do for a while. I've wanted to create tier lists. I've wanted to talk about the games, what I liked, what I didn't, and honestly, this is a nearly 40-ish, who knows, Twitch, who knows, white man sharing his opinion, which is honestly missing from the internet, and you know what? Podcasts at large. Maybe I should start a podcast. Anyway, folks, the point is I want to share my opinion, and more importantly, articulate the reasons behind it, because I like the sound of my own voice. I want to start reviewing the games. I've got the list here. This is our entire to-do list. So we beat Oblivion. We have beaten Undertale. We are almost done with Expedition 33. We are going through post-game content right now. And then I have 15 years worth of Game of the Years that I've picked out. There's no set list of these things. So I picked out what I felt was Game of the Year from among the reviews that, because there's 5 different independent groups that announce the Game of the Year, including Game Awards, there's International, there's BAFTA, which is the British Academy for Games, etc. And a lot of them have the same one, which makes our decision simple, and a lot of them disagree, which makes our decision complicated. I currently, folks, if you're interested in getting your opinion in, I have a community post on YouTube right now, which is... it linked below in the description if you're watching YouTube right now. But asking, do you want me to play the Game of the Years in a row? So start with Mass Effect, which is 2010. Skyrim is 2011. I'm inclined to do the 2010 through 2025, unless the audience is very compellingly arguing for something different. So let me know. But along the way, we are going to add games to this. We're going to start with Oblivion. We're going to review it. We're going to give it a rank. And then we're going to move on to the next game. So first things first. You can't talk about, so actually let me start from the beginning. So if I'm going to review a game, there are 6 things that matter to me. Honestly, I should have gone for 5, but because it's just easier. Looks like I'm trying to grope you over the internet. I'm not. Or am I? 6 things. Gameplay, the story/world, graphics/art, sound/music, because those are such an immense part of the holistic experience of the game. Replay value matters to me tremendously when I think about the quality of the game. And then lastly, it's just the overall vibe. Did you have fun? Did you just enjoy it? So, it'll be those 6 things. Our tier is S rank, A, B, C, and D. And then ultimately that kind of comes down to, a play it, skip it mentality, which is skip it, not worth it. Play it. You'd enjoy it if you like those styles. And then there's going to be the holy shit S. So S tier will exclusively be games that I fundamentally think you have not lived a gaming world as a video gamer if you have not played these games. And that's not a judgment, it's a recommendation. You gotta play these. So that's the approach we're gonna put in this whole tier list system. I'm looking for it. Let's dive right in. So right off the bat for Oblivion, and while I'm doing this, by the way, folks, as we're talking tier list, absolutely chime in chat. I want to hear your feedback so I can disagree with you while you're wrong. You should have that right. So first and foremost is gameplay. Oblivion's gameplay is really unique in a lot of ways. And it's because, so first of all, a lot of us have played Morrowind and Elder Scrolls for a long time. Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, take your pick. I never played Oblivion before this, and I played 2 hours of Skyrim. I played 1,000 hours of Morrowind. I think gameplay-wise, the controls give a lot of agency. I love that with clever jumps, you can kind of get anywhere. The spell crafting system has always allowed you to do some very clever and unique things. Ironically, Oblivion is probably the worst of the games in terms of spell crafting for uniqueness. But by and large, the gameplay, I would probably give it A rank. Maybe I'd put it A, trending towards the S. And that might sound a little insane, but it's just so free. You can pick stuff up, organize it, you can set up entire houses. The amount of time people have spent on games like this, myself included, just enjoying the character and the world they found themselves in, I think the gameplay is phenomenal. I give the gameplay an A. Story/world. Is the world engaging? Elder Scrolls is famous for having quests, not all by any stretch of the imagination, but for having quests that are actually engaging, that make you feel involved. You have the Daedra, you've got the Daedric princes, which are effectively gods who oversee different things, have cult followers, have, desires and machinations upon the world. You have the Empire, you have 8 different races with meaningful lore and backstory that have tied to wars and their history, and racism ingrained in the game in a way that encourages you to think about it and understand it, not encourage it. And it is beautiful. I think the story/world has to be S tier because it opens so many doors of possibility and so much nuance in what is going on. Story/world for Elder Scrolls games is S tier. It's so incredible. Graphics/art. So if we're gonna talk graphics and art on an Elder Scrolls game, it's gotta move down the list. It has to move down the list. So this is Oblivion Remastered, and a lot of the remastering is really good. Like, I don't think I could go lower than a B tier on this, but so if you watch the final cinematic between Daehun Magan and Martin Septim, oh my god. I think I have a YouTube video of that 2 or 3 minute thing. It is that had to be 90% of their graphic budget for updating Oblivion Remastered. It was beautiful. You have to watch it. If you've never played this game, still watch it, because it's just, you're going to go oh my god, what is this game? It is phenomenal. I highly recommend it. But other than that, it's Mehrunes Dagon. Yeah, not Daehun Magan. Folks, you can see right now that I'm being gaslit by chat. So Cold pronounced it Daehun Magan like a lunatic. It's Mehrunes Dagon, and obviously I know that. I know what I'm talking about. I'm a mango. Anyway, folks, graphics, even with the remaster, I gotta nitpick it. And also, in the graphics and art, I think we have to talk about the glitches. Overwhelmingly, the glitches are features, not bugs. Because I don't know where else I'd put that. I mean, honestly, it fits into gameplay, it fits into story and world in some places too. Elder Scrolls is famous for its weird glitches, and Oblivion in particular. And honestly, I encountered exceptionally few that actually bothered me. They're just mostly entertaining. But anyway, graphics and art, B. Sound and music. Honestly, Elder Scrolls is pretty well known for some very iconic music, and in fits and bursts, Oblivion has really, really good music. But it also has plenty of time where there's just kind of not a lot going on. You know what? So try it this way. If you've played the game and you love it, what does the outdoor music sound like? I can't hear it. I literally can't hear it in my head. I don't know what it is. It's something calming and, it works, but it's not memorable. Whereas I can tell you what Elwyn Forest sounds like. I can tell you what Goldshire sounds like. Those were really iconic music that drew you in. Now, of course, the hype music, when you first load the game and the classic Elder Scrolls music pops up, it's iconic, and that's great. But honestly, I don't think I could go better than B tier here, because it's good. It works. There's a couple really good bangers, but for the most part, it does its job. It doesn't take away from the experience, but it's not doing anything incredible either. And remember, before I get the Elder Scrolls people coming after me, remember that we are just starting with Oblivion right now, and we are ultimately planning to look at this across the extreme strata of just the game of the year. So we're being picky here. If this was just games from 2006, this would be crushing everyone. We're trying to look at this through the lens of everything, because we know what we're comparing against. Alright, replay value. No question. Replay value is S tier. Unquestionably, Elder Scrolls is probably one of the original games, Morrowind and the versions that came before, Oblivion, Skyrim, some of the greatest replay value games of all time. Like, unquestionably, they are a gold standard in, you know what I want to do? I want to go replay that game. And you know how you know it is because it has generated a history of memes that exist because of Oblivion regarding the 2 hours people spend in character creation for their 16th replay of the game. And still somehow end up being a stealth archer every time. These memes exist everywhere. And they exist for a reason, because it's just that good. There's no question in my mind that that's gotta be S tier. And so then lastly, we gotta talk overall vibe. Did you have fun playing the game? And I think this one gets pretty interesting, because the short answer is yes. I started to get a little bored towards the end, and now part of that's gonna be a stream fatigue, because when streaming, sometimes you're kind of like, I'm kind of ready for the next thing. If I was just sitting alone, playing it by myself, and not worried makes it sound like I'm constantly worried on stream. Promise I'm not. But if I was just super chilling, like it was my relaxing, just chill on the couch, I don't think I would have suffered the same fatigue. But in the same vein, I do think the overall vibe is that I enjoy it, but it's not... How do I find a good way to put this? I'm trying to think of a metaphor for... It's reliable. You can, and it goes back to the replayability being S tier. You can always play Oblivion. But when some new hype game comes along, you better believe I'm picking it up. After Oblivion, I was going to play Undertale for the first time. After Undertale Expedition 33. I was enjoying Oblivion, but after I finished the main quest line, Dark Brotherhood, a lot of the other quests that were recommended to me by chat who know the game, I was like, I'm kind of ready to move on here. So, I don't... It's not my song. What? Alright, let's put on my music. So I don't get DMCA'd there. Yeah, so I enjoyed it. But I reached a point where I was kind of ready to move on. And if I think I was just playing in the background to relax, I think you could be comfortable with it for a while. I think you can always go back to it, but I don't think it generates like the hype of like constantly being the go-to thing. And so I think the overall vibe is probably A tier. Like, I mean, I definitely couldn't give S. And I'd be honestly like A minus if we were giving A minus tiers, which we're not. So I guess I'm just giving it an A tier. I wonder what I'm going to end up with in the C and D tier here. Because, like, eventually, once we get through all these, we're going to kind of have to start, like, if we want to really fine-tune Split, we could be like, on their own, these are all S tier. But we're going to have to stratify them. I keep meaning to, but I never seem to get around to getting back to Skyrim. Been Fallout 4 for around 325 hours. Fallout 4 was on Game of the Year list for 2014. And I think Shadow of Mordor beat it out. Still need to finish one DLC in the main story. Jesus. Yeah, Underling, I think I had to go out of my way to finish the main story because I realized I just wasn't doing it. Because I just get stuck in everything. And it can get exhausting. And so it's that kind of fatigue that ends up burning. That's what burned me out in Skyrim. But alright, folks. End of the day, I'm going to say Oblivion overall, for the nature of all of these lists we're looking at, is B tier. Now, it's got enough S's, it's got to be A. I don't know, why am I struggling with this? So, if we look at all the averages, it's coming out to A tier. I'm going to leave it at A tier, but once we start adding the rest of these, I think Oblivion is going to start to suffer a little bit. Because I think of all the games here, Oblivion is going to start to slide on this list. Ugh. I'm interested. Ugh. Alright, folks, Oblivion is A tier for now. We will revisit this when we come back to Undertale next week. But that is where for your... Let's try that again. Let's see that again in an instant replay. Okay, that's it for Oblivion. We are going to do Undertale next week, so make sure to like and subscribe if you want to catch that, and I will catch you next week.
Make sure to drop a comment below and hit that subscribe and catch all of the SmoothestMango action coming up.